Daf Yomi Tractate Sanhedrin. I gotta say Sanhedrin to make sure to say it because last time I made a mistake. I said Baba Basra. I'm so used to it. It's kind of like when you come to the new year and you're still used to writing the old year. Okay, Sanhedrin. Maybe say it 100 times. 101 times. Okay, Sanhedrin. Daf Hey Amud Aleph. V'im haya mumche l'rabim. Dan afilu yechidi. Amar Rav Nachman kigoin ano dan dinim amanas b'yechidi. V'chein amar Rabbi Chia kigon ana dan dinim amanos b'yechidi. Okay, but if one was a judge accepted as an expert for the public, then he may judge cases even as the lone judge. Rav Nachman said, one such as I may judge cases of monetary law as the lone judge. And similarly, Rabbi Chia said, one such as I may judge cases of monetary law as the lone judge. Okay, Iboilahu. A dilemma was raised, Kagon, Anna, Digemirna, Usevirna, Unekitina, Reshuta. Aval lo nakit reshuta dine lo dina. Oy dilma. Afal gav lo nakit reshuta dine dina. A dilemma was raised before the sages. What is the meaning of such as I in the statements of these rabbis? Did they intend to say such as I, in that I have studied and have the skills to extrapolate and derive new rulings on the basis of earlier decisions, and have also received permission to judge as the lone judge? But accordingly, if one has not received permission to judge as the lone judge, his judgment is not a valid judgment, or perhaps this is not the correct reading of the statements. And the halacha is that even though he did not receive permission to judge as the lone judge, his judgment is nevertheless a valid judgment. Tashima, come in here from a braise. Now Tashima, the Gemara suggests coming here a solution to this dilemma from the following case. I'm not sure if it's a braise or not. Demar Zutra braid Rav Nachman dan dina uta. Asala kamei Rav Yosef. Amar lo, im kiblucha alayhu lo tishalem, im la azil shalim, ishma mina ki nakit reshuta dina ishma mina. The Gemara suggests coming here a solution to this dilemma from the following case. Mar Zutra, the son of Rav Nachman, once adjudicated a certain case and erred in his ruling. Upon realizing his error, he came before Rav Yosef to ask what he should do. Rav Yosef said to him, if the litigants accepted you upon themselves as the lone judge, and both had agreed that they would accept your ruling, you are not liable to pay restitution to the party who lost the case due to your erroneous ruling. But if they did not accept you on themselves, but were rather compelled to be judged before you, you must go and pay restitution, and learn from it that even in a case where one did not receive permission to judge as a lone judge, his ruling is a valid judgment. The Gemara affirms I'm not sure why you should learn from that. I mean, that's the whole point. The whole point is that he didn't get permission. How do you learn from this that even when you did not get permission? I don't understand. Okay, whatever. Leave it be. The Gemara affirmed, learn from it that this is the case. Amarav, Haiman de boy le medan dina vi ta'am ibayel miftar lishkol reshuta mi beresh galuta v'chein amashmul lishkol reshuta mi beresh galuta. In the realm of the Resh Galuta, Rav says one who wants to adjudicate a case and wants to be exempt from payment of restitution if he errs in his judgment must receive permission from the exilarch to judge cases. And similarly, Shmuel says, in such a case, he must receive permission from the exilarch. Once he receives permission, even an erroneous decision carries halakhic force, and therefore it is as if he did not err. Pshita. Das ist obvious. Pshita mehacha lehacha mehasam. Let's see. Oh, okay. Pshita. Wow. How much do we have left here? Okay, let's just move and groove, man. The show must go on. Pshita me'achalacha me'hasim nahasam me'hani me'achalasim nami me'hani dacha shevet me'hasim me'choikek. Since the Gemara mentioned the importance of a judge receiving authorization from the exilarch, from the realm of the Reish Galusa, it now discusses the scope of this authority. Pshita, this is obvious that from here to here, meaning relying on permission granted by the exilarch in Babylonia in order to adjudicate cases within Babylonia, and from there to there, relying on permission granted by the Nasi in Eretz Yisrael in order to adjudicate cases within Eretz Yisrael, the authorization is effective. And it is also obvious that from here to there, relying on permission granted from the exilarch to adjudicate cases within Eretz Yisrael is also effective, as the authority of the exilarch is greater than that of the Nasi. This is so since the exilarch here in Babylonia may be termed a scepter, meaning a ruler with actual power of governance, and the Nasi there in Eretz Yisrael is only a staff, a legislator with limited power. Kiditanya lo yasul shevet miYehuda. Lo yasul shevet miYehuda. What's the gematria of that? 688. And Adpash is 1313. Okay. Titania lo yasul shevet miYehuda. Elu Rosh Golio Shebebovel Sheroidin Es Yisrael B'Shevet Umechoykek Ben Raglo Ve'elu Bnei Banav Shel Hillel Shemelamdin Toira Berabim. This is, as it is taught in Brighton, the verse states, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet until Shiloh comes. Genesis 49:10. The term Shiloh is understood as a reference to the Messiah, and therefore the verse is interpreted as delineating the authority of Jewish rulers during the exile, before the Messiah comes. The scepter shall not depart from Judah. These are the exilarchs in Babylonia. Okay, these are the exilarchs in Babylonia, who are empowered by the government, consequently subjugate the Jewish people as with a scepter, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet. These are the grandchildren of Hillel the elder, who hold a position of Nasi and teach the Torah in public, but do not have authority to actually enforce the judgments. It won't. How does that make sense? Lo Yasser Shevet Yehuda, but Babylonia, there's nothing there today. How can you? What? They were saying that there won't be removed, the Shevet from Yehuda. This is Bavel. But what's going on in Bavel today? Zero. Well, that I know of. Let's put it that way. Anyway, Mehasam Lahamai Tashima Adraba Barchana. Again, we have Barchana here. Dan Dina Uta. Asa Lekame de Rabichia. Amar Le Ikeblucha Alayu. Loitashlim Milo. Zil Shalim Baha. Rabba Barchana Rishuta Havinaki Shmamina. Mehasam Lahacha Lumahani Shmamina. If one has permission from the Nasi, and wants to adjudicate cases here in Babylonia, what is the halacha? The Gemara suggests come and hear an incident that occurred. Rabba Barchana adjudicated a case in Babylonia and erred. He came before Rabbi Chia to ask what he should do. Rabbi Chia said to him, If the litigants accepted you upon themselves, you are not liable to pay restitution to the party who unjustly lost the case, but if not, go and pay. But Rabba Bar Chana received permission from the Nasi Eretz Yisrael. Therefore, learn from this incident that permission from there to adjudicate cases here is not effective. The Gemara affirms, learn from it, that this is the case. Velomahani, V'horabba Bar Avhuno, Ki havi menatzi behandi dveresh kelusa, Omar lav Nikitina reshuta me Abba Mari, Abba Mari me Rab Chia me Rabbi, the Milsa de Alma hu de Oikim lehu. The Gemara asks, and is this permission not effective? But when Rava bar Rav Huna was involved in a dispute with the members of the house of the exilarch, he said, It is not from you that I received permission to judge cases. I received permission from my father, my master, which is Rav Huna, and my father, my master, received permission from Rav, and Rav from Rabbi Chia, and Rabbi Chia from Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, and Eretz Yisrael. Therefore, it seems that permission received in Eretz Yisrael is in fact effective in Babylonia. The Gemara rejects this proof. He was merely standing up to them with words alone, but there was no halachic validity to his statement. The Gemara asks, but since permission to judge received in Eretz Yisrael is not effective in Babylonia, why did Rabbi Bar Chana need to receive permission when he left for Babylonia? What was the value of that permission? The Gemara answers, the permission is effective for the cities that stand on the borders of Babylonia, which are not entirely in the jurisdiction of Babylonia, so permission from Eretz Yisrael is effective there. Ma'ir Reshusa, ki havinachis Rabba Bar Chana leBavel, Omer le'Rabbi Chia Rabbi ben Achi, Yore leBavel, Yore, Yodin, Yatir b'choires, Yatir. What is the specific nature of this permission? The Gemara relates, when Rabbi Bar Chana descended to Babylonia, his uncle Rabbi Chia said to Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, my brother's son is descending to Babylonia. May he teach people and issue rulings with regard to what is prohibited and what is permitted. Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi said to him, he may teach. Rabbi Chia then asked him, may he also adjudicate cases of monetary law and be absolved from payment if he errs? Rabbi Yehuda said to him, he may adjudicate. Rabbi Chia continued, may he declare a firstborn animal permitted? The male firstborn of a kosher animal may not be eaten, as it is supposed to be offered to the temple, but if it acquires a permanent blemish, it is unfit for an offering, and it may be eaten. Rabbi Yehuda said to him, he may declare such an animal permitted. Ki havi nachis Rav leBavel, Omer le Rav Chia le Rabbi ben Achoisi Yore leBavel. Yore. Yodin. Yati b'choires? Al Yati. Similarly, when Rav, who was also Rabbi Chia's nephew, descended to Babylonia, Rabbi Chia said to Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, my sister's son is descending to Babylonia. May he teach people and issue ruling with regard to what is prohibited and what is permitted. Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi said to him, he may teach. Rabbi Chia then asked, may he also adjudicate cases of monetary law and be absolved from payment if he errs? Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi responded, he may adjudicate. Rabbi Chia continued, may he declare a firstborn animal permitted? Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi said to him, he may not declare. I wonder why. He may not declare such an animal permitted. Okay. Ma'ishna lemad de kokari ben achi, u'ma'ishna lemad de kokari ben achoisi. V'chiti ma'ari havi ma'ise b'hamar evu v'chano v'shelo u'marto v'Rabbi Chia kula b'nei Abba bar acha kar sara mikapri havo Rabba bar achu de havi bar achate Rabba bar chana bar achu de la bar achate. This incident raises several questions, which the Gemara asks in sequence. What is different concerning this sage, meaning Rabbi Bar Chana, that Rabbi Chia called him my brother's son? And what is different concerning that sage, Rav, that Rabbi Chia called him my sister's son? And if you would say that this was a situation, Rabbi Bar Chana was his brother's son, and Rav was his sister's son, but doesn't the master say Ivo, Rav's father, and Chana? Okay, Ivo is Rav's father, and Chana is the father of Rabbi Bar Chana. Obviously, right? Rabbi Bar Chana. And Sheila and Marta and Rabbi Chia were all sons of Abba Bar Acha Karsala from Kafri. Consequently, Rav would also be Rabbi Chia's brother's son. The Gemara answers, Rav was his brother's son, who was also his sister's son. As Rabbi Chia's half-brother married Rabbi Chia's half-sister. This is complicated, but it's interesting. While Rabbi Bar Chana was his brother's son, who was not his sister's son. See, this even compounds the question. Excuse me. This even compounds the question of Rabbi Bar Chana. Now, if Rabbi Bar Chana, is that just a mistake? How did it get there? How did that extra bar get there? These are mysteries, deep mysteries for Boisai. Anyway, Rabbi Bar Chana was his brother's son, who was not his sister's son. Therefore, he referred to Rav in a manner that emphasized the additional relationship. The Bois Ema, and if you wish, say instead that he called him my sister's son for a different reason. Okay.